My amp units! What's up, guys? We are really late on this review, aren't we? Better late than never, though. I had a lot of work to do today, a lot of business to take care of, including a multi-mile run, which I knocked on its ass. And then after this, we actually have leg day, which I've procrastinated all day. But for you gym rats, please do not skip leg day. You look like a disproportionate buffoon, and somebody's gonna smack the shit out of you. Do not skip leg day, please. That's my big advice for any gym rats in the future. Smackdown, May 14, 2021. A defiant Jimmy Uso rears his head once more. Says once again, I'm not like my brother. I ain't nobody's bitch. Roman once again did not like those words. How did he respond? Oh, we're gonna talk about it in this review. Cesaro continues that beast booking. It's great to see on one hand, right? About damn time. But is this the best thing going into Backlash, which is just tomorrow night, the 16th of May? As I put in that thumbnail, what happens next is huge in the career of Cesaro. We're going to talk all about it in this very review video. Also, we have new women's tag team champions. The titles changed hands just 2 nights before a pay-per-view. If it seems like that just doesn't make sense, it's because it just doesn't, but it's something this company does far too often. I can't stand when titles change hands. Not on a pay-per-view, but even more so when it's literally days before a pay-per-view. It's unacceptable. It happened last night. We gotta talk about it. And if you want to switch gears to the Intercontinental title, well, that wasn't any better last night. That was a schmaz due to lack of creativity, and you damn well better bet we're gonna talk about it. The Mysterios, back in it with the Dirty Dogs. How do you build up that matchup for a pay-per-view? You just have them keep fighting each other, because that'll build suspense. Or not so much. What else? Bianca, Belair, and Bayley, they had their final words before they do battle at Backlash. I'm actually looking forward to this match. If they had some more weeks to build it, I think it would have been pretty damn solid. Last week, I liked their tussle. This week, they were good on the mic. But we ran out of time with it. Now they have to come to blows this Sunday night. Would have been better with some more time. But we're going to talk about it, I assure you. And of course, the main event is Jimmy Uso and Cesaro. What happened at the end of this son of a bitch? And did it intrigue you guys, excite you, get you invested into tomorrow night's Backlash event? Yes, no, maybe so? We're going to talk all about it right now. This, my friends, is Smackdown's amplified review for May 14th, 2021. Let's get amplified. My unit. Let's get this party started, man. Roman Reigns begins this go-home show middle of the ring, addressing Cesaro, but it's Jimmy Uso that interrupts. Jimmy says, and I quote, "All I hear is my cousin running his mouth, while my brother stands there acting like his bitch." Damn! Jimmy Uso is ever so defiant, man. Not giving Roman what he wants. Not giving the tribal chief what he desires, which is his ego stroked. But Jimmy's not going to do that. Jimmy says if you lose that Universal Championship and me and my brother win the tag titles, well, doesn't that make us the tribal chiefs of the family? Roman flips out at that notion. Roman got amplified, man. And I love when Roman gets amped up on that microphone or in the ring, because this is an amplification we never got to see when he was a face. I don't think Roman knew he had it in him when he was a face. There was so much burden and weight on his shoulders. Unjustifiably so, by the way. McMahon put that on him. But we knew when this guy turned heel, you could light that sumbitch up, put that rocket right on his back, and let this dude soar to new heights. And just those little things that aren't so little, like the amplification in his tone during these promos when he was flipping out on Jimmy Uso, man. That amplification, that type of passion. Man, I love that out of Roman. Roman says, and I quote, "That is not your place," meaning Jimmy Uso as the tribal chief. He says, that is not your place. That is not your position. That is not who you are. Roman says, I am the tribal chief, and you're here to play your part. I fucking love that interaction, man. Just beautiful. They argue whether Roman can actually beat Cesaro or not, so Roman finally has enough and says, fine, you think you can beat him, Jimmy? The show is yours. The main event is yours. And this sets up somehow Cesaro and Jimmy Uso in the main event. So Jimmy's gonna show Roman what he can do and why he's nobody's bitch. And Roman says, fine, dude, you want to be ever so defiant? You don't want to stand or fall in line? Then I'm going to show you what happens when you're on your own. Jimmy's like, cool. Cesaro, he starts calling out Cesaro. Cesaro comes out and says, Jimmy, you got it. And Roman, I'll be taking what you love the most come Sunday. So it was not a bad opening at all. On paper, I don't know if Jimmy Uso and Cesaro would captivate a casual fan, but if you know how badass this story not only already is, but how badass it can become with Jimmy, Jay, and Roman, you kind of got to tune in to see what they have planned in that main event segment. So you get the promo itself and everything that's on the line later in the night. And what I mean by that is Cesaro's booking. Last week, he was booked like a beast. Do they do that again this week? And if they do, they just put themselves even more firmly and more tightly into a corner that they might not be able to back out of. I'll explain what I mean when I get to the main event, guys. But I love seeing on one hand Cesaro booked this way, but it could come crashing down tomorrow night at Backlash. Again, I'll explain come main event. First, let me crack this son of a bitch. This is my 7th one of the day. Beastly, you gotta chill out on the coffees, man. I'm sorry. Last I checked, you're not mom and dad. And even if you were, I'd still probably say, hit the bricks. I'm guzzling my coffee. This one is a Dunkin' Iced French Vanilla. Ow. Yeah. So good opening segment. This takes us right to our first matchup of the night, which is actually for the tag titles. This is Nia and Shayna, the tag champions, taking on challengers Tamina and Nattie. Now, Tamina Snuka came to life in this match. I mean, no shade whatsoever when I say this, but it's just amplified truth. She looked like a professional wrestler in there. I didn't even know she had that in her. And don't even try to sell me that. BC, if you go back to her 3 best matches in WWE, you'll see that type of amplification. No, trust me. This is the most passion amplification, and confidence that I have ever seen in Tamina Snuka. And I loved it. More of that. If we're gonna get more of Tamina and Nattie together, all I asked is that they, first and foremost, put the amplification and passion into their character, into what they're doing. Then we can solely just bitch about the booking, which surely we're going to do more times than not. But when the characters aren't even captivating, and it doesn't even look like they're putting in the passion or they're lacking the confidence, then we're just burning the candle at both ends. And we can't win no matter what happens. So this was cool to see Tamina reach this new level of confidence and passion. And they actually had Tamina pin her cousin Nia Jax in this match. And Tamina and Nattie became new tag team champions for that women's division. To say I was shocked is an understatement for a couple of reasons. Number one, I was actually shocked that they didn't have Shayna Baszler take the L, because Shayna Baszler is the residential jobber when it comes to the women's division for Vince McMahon. Usually it's less than 2 minutes and Shayna's getting fruit rolled up. Sadly, Shayna Baszler, you can see in the past couple of months, she has lost her passion in WWE. She no longer has it anymore. She probably lost her confidence along the way too, because McMahon will do that to you. So to see Nia drop this match, does this mean that Shayna Baszler will turn on Nia? Like, what the fuck? Dude, you dropped the titles. We could have had this. Does Shayna Baszler finally get some type of daylight in that company? Is there light at the end of the tunnel for Shayna Baszler? I don't know. But that shocked me that it was Nia that took that L. Now, on the other hand, you can kind of say, well, makes sense because Tamina and Nia had the bigger feud. So Tamina kind of had to beat Nia. But trust me, when it comes to Vince protecting Nia, he will throw Shayna under the bus time and time again, even if there is a Tamina and Nia side feud. So that shocked me. Number two, this probably didn't so much shock me as just piss me off. The titles changed hands yet again in the middle of a show. Not even a main event, but the middle of a show. And that is how your titles become less and less prestigious, to the point where they're irrelevant. And let's be honest, these women's tag titles are fucking irrelevant, like most titles in WWE. Middle of the show, not just not at a pay-per-view, but 2 nights before a pay-per-view. You couldn't have just held off a couple of nights and just had a pay-per-view moment for Tamina and Nattie. And on the flip side, allow Nia and Shayna to drop it at a pay-per-view, right? Give them some prestige. Honor them a little bit. They've been champions for the past several months. Allow them to drop it at a pay-per-view so it's more impactful, more meaningful. Nope. You'll lose it in the middle of a show. Most people are probably fucking making a sandwich, going to the bathroom, outside, fucking whatever. Smoke. Do people even smoke anymore? I don't know. But the middle of the show, nobody's really paying attention. These days, everybody's fucking tweeting during the show or on social media. And that's where you're going to lose it. And that's where you two are going to win it. Does it seem like it's not significant? Meaningful, impactful, prestigious? It's because it's not. Same thing I said with Darby Allin dropping the title to Miro this past Wednesday on Dynamite. I can't stand that with a couple weeks left before Double or Nothing. You could have done the deed there and give Darby the respect to lose that championship at a pay-per-view and really make a huge moment for Miro. Instead, you know what happened? They switched the title to Miro this past Wednesday and only 937,000 people tuned in. They didn't even break 1 million. So what BC said all along ended up being true. Nobody was watching Darby lose the title and Miro win it. So now when people tune in to the pay-per-view or next week, if they do break 1 million, a lot of people are gonna say, hey, how'd he get the title? Wasn't that smaller dude just getting it with the face paint? What's his name? Marco Stunt? No. You mean Orange Cassidy? No. I think it's Marco. And then another guy has to come in and be like, it's not Marco or Orange. It's Darby Allin. And everyone's like, yeah, that guy. Didn't he have the title? And when I talked about this a couple of times this week, when I first talked about it, there was about a handful of people that were like, oh, it's a TV title, I'm okay with it. And I had to knock some sense into him, you know? So I fucking had to reiterate in a second video. And it came right out and said that this isn't a debate. This isn't an opinion. It's factually bullshit to have your champion drop that 2 weeks before a big pay-per-view. Thankfully, the second time I talked about it, nobody had any questions after that. Nobody was trying to debate after that. Everybody understood that you just can't have your mid-card title. You can call it a TV title all you want because it's called the TNT title. That is your one and only mid-card title. And you have a pay-per-view in 2 weeks. That has to be changed hands at the actual pay-per-view. And thankfully, I got a lot of smart people, man. The second time we talked about it, everybody understood what Professor BC was talking about. So, thank you guys, man. Not one person tried to dispute it after that second video. Thankfully, people are fucking coming around to how business needs to be conducted. And what's good for the goose is good for the gander. You go to SmackDown, I'm going to say the same fucking thing. These titles should have been held off until the pay-per-view. And you could say, BC, do you really want that match at the pay-per-view? Maybe this was for the better. It doesn't matter what I want. It's about what is right and what is wrong, guys. I told you, I'm not here for my personal opinion. Right? It's better that they're not at the pay-per-view and we got this done in the middle of a show. That's not the point, what we want or what we like. It's about factual information. The titles need to be prestigious again. The only way to do that is to treat them as such and book them as such, which means they have to be won, lost, defended, all of that at pay-per-views. Because in the process, these pay-per-views are becoming even more uneventful than ever before. And we saw that trend and that trajectory for many weeks, many months, and even years now. But now more than ever, these pay-per-views are absolute jokes. All of the time and the effort is being put, and by the way, very minimal effort in time. But all these title matches are being produced now for Raws and SmackDowns, trying to pop a rating that is not there. And they haven't learned their lesson yet. Just parading title matches is not going to bring in the ratings. WWE has learned that lesson, or actually they haven't yet. They keep doing the same mistake, making all these title matches for their shows and not for the pay-per-views, and the ratings aren't popping. AEW just found that out Wednesday. 3 title matches, and they could not break 1 million with no competition. Title matches alone will not bring in an audience. You gotta raise those storylines that captivate people. You have to raise, create, book characters that are larger than life. You need to produce a show from top to bottom, start to finish, beginning to end, that captivates, man. Just parading titles is not gonna do that, especially when you've already made nearly every title irrelevant. It's gonna be a long time to dig out of that hole, but you have to start somewhere. I'm not a fan of these tag titles changing hands in the middle of a Friday night SmackDown. But seeing Nattie and Tamina hoisting those championships up and the excitement from Tamina, man, raw excitement, fireworks blasting. You would think Kurt Angle just won another gold medal. They were making this seem like it was the biggest thing in the world that Nattie and Tamina won these titles. Fireworks all around the arena. Good for them. You know, I'm not gonna trash their performance or them winning the titles because the titles are so irrelevant. Maybe this will light a spark. I don't know. You know what I mean? I really don't, guys. I'm trashing the booking of it. I'm not going to trash Nattie and Tamina. We'll see what they do with them. Are they transitional champs? Do we play hot potato and it goes back to Shayna and Nia? Does Shayna finally turn on Nia or vice versa? How long does Nattie and Tamina hold these titles? These are the questions that I have. We'll find out together. But until we start to see some type of trajectory with Nattie and Tamina, I can't totally dog them out. Maybe this ignites something within this lackluster, nearly non-existent tag division. So, titles changed hands, man. Shayna and Nia, all these months, that was your culminating title change moment. Middle of a fucking Friday night SmackDown, losing it to Tamina and Nattie. Not making that up. If you didn't watch the show, that's what literally happened. And then we all took a trip to Schmoztown as Apollo presents Commander Sneeze with an Olympic gold medal, actually. Speaking of Kurt Angle, or something. I mean, if it wasn't a gold medal, he was retrieving some fucking medal from Apollo. And then Big E and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, they all hit the ring and start beating one another up. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what happens when you lack creativity. You just throw everybody out there. And I don't know if a match for the IC title has already been announced. Maybe it is Big E versus Apollo again for the 15th time. But don't be surprised if on the day, on that night, tomorrow night, it's announced as a fatal four-way. Because that's what it looked like last night. So even if a one-on-one was announced, don't be shocked if this somehow turns into a fatal four. So on the same night that you have a triple threat for the WWE Championship and a triple threat for the Raw Women's Championship, don't be surprised if you have a fatal four-way for the IC title. Because that's what this company does. They rest on being as creative as possible. They rest on the lowest of standards imaginable. If they don't have to put any time or effort into a storyline or a matchup, they're not going to. Let's just parade everybody out there. Fuck it. They'll be fine with it. It's just a pay-per-view anyway. I got an email. It was kind of fucking sad. It said, your WWE network has expired. I'm thinking, yeah, well, didn't we all have to switch to fucking Peacock? Wasn't that what we all had to do anyway? So of course I let it expire. And they're like, please come back. You can join for Backlash at just 99 cents. And I was like, this is what we're doing. This is why pay-per-views are utter trash these days. Because you can buy them for 99 cents. In fact, for years, if you were a first time, you probably still can get this deal. If you're just new to the network, you can join for free for months. So no wonder they don't put any fucking time or effort into the pay-per-views. These are 99-cent pay-per-views. Or free to a shitload of people. They're not what they once were. Sad, man. Pathetic is what it is, actually. Then we went into Rey Mysterio defeating Dolph Ziggler via the awe-inspiring, ultra-devastating, small package fruit roll-up. This was a good match. Two of the best in the world, still to this day, actually given time to showcase their talent. What a crazy concept. However, this is another classic example of no effort and no creativity whatsoever. The Dirty Dogs and the Mysterios face off this Sunday night at Backlash, do they not? I could have sworn that's the tag title match that was already announced for, fucking Smackdown. I wouldn't doubt it. They'll have a fucking another match next Friday for the titles. But for Backlash, that's the match. So what's the storyline that leads us into that pay-per-view match, you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked. BC has the answers. Let's just have them face each other every fucking week until we get to the pay-per-view where we're going to have them face each other again. And you wonder why nobody gets excited for these matches. The pay-per-view comes around and nobody has any intrigue for it. It's because we've already seen the match 100 fucking times. Or at least the individuals we have seen facing, fighting, wrestling each other every single show. So when you get to the pay-per-view, what left is there to see? And you wonder why the crowd, even in the Thunderdome, they're in their own home, they can smash down coffees, energy drinks, any other extracurricular activities they want to do at home. They can be as excited as fucking they want to be. And no, it looks like they're all taking a nap in the Thunderdome, and you can't blame them. You can't say that you ain't about to do the same damn thing when you watch these matches at home. There's no excitement. Don't lie to yourself. You've already seen these individuals face each other every single way you possibly can underneath the sun. What more is left to be seen? Nothing. But we will see this again Sunday night for the tag titles. So I like the match, but just like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, just because I like the match does not mean I need to see it 1,467 times. At some point, you have to say that's enough, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. They have to stop making the story them facing each other every week. That's not a storyline. It's not. And they do this far too often with all these pay-per-view matches. Every week, just have them go out there and face each other in some type of way. One-on-one, tag team match, triple threat, fatal four, handicap match. But we're still seeing them do battle nonstop. I don't know. I can harp on that another fucking hour. It's gonna do no good. Obviously, we keep getting the same bullshit. Bianca Belair, middle of the ring. Bayley is up on the Giantron. And they have a pretty good exchange, especially towards the end when Bayley says, first off, she stopped going jab for Bianca. She probably thought we could do this all night. So Bayley just stopped going jab for jab, and she got very serious. And Bayley said, and I quote, looking at you with your shiny outfits, all full of energy, trying to get noticed, it reminds me of myself when I started here. She said, trust me, this little fantasy that you're living in right now, it doesn't end well. End quote. I love that from Bayley, man. And Bianca instantly got just as serious as Bayley, so that was really good. Bianca's like, all right, you're gonna lay down those type of fucking words. The time for talk is over. There's only one thing left to do now. And that was the look in Bianca's face. I'm not even going to try to jab for jab either now. You stop jab for jab, I'm going to stop. Mic down, now it's time to go. And Bayley stayed serious as the camera zoomed in. Camera zooms into Bianca. I liked it, man. I liked their tussle last week. I thought that was very authentic and very full of passion and amplification. This week on the mic, I like their short and brief interaction. So, short and brief. Isn't that the same fucking thing? Short and brief. Well, both. So now there's only one thing left to do, man. Let's let them rock out. I don't see Bayley taking this title. Bianca just got it last month at WrestleMania, but, I hope Bianca... I don't know. I hope Bayley just doesn't get buried in this sumbitch. You got to find a way to have Bianca win this match, but Bayley still looks strong. Sound familiar? Kind of a Cesaro-Roman situation I'm going to get to in just a couple of minutes. But before I get to that, King Corbin defeats Shinsuke Nakamura again. I was against Corbin beating Shinsuke last week during that schmaz match on Throwback Smackdown. And I'm double against the decision to job out Nakamura again to Corbin this week. Post-match, Shinsuke drops Corbin and takes his crown. Here's an idea. Instead of having Shin play the sore loser, just book him as a solid winner. There's a concept. The dude is great. Still to this day, Shinsuke can offer so much and have awesome classic matches. And you just have him job out to Corbin. It's the same type of booking a couple years ago, and nothing has changed. And Shinsuke loses again, just like he did last week, to the same dude, Baron Corbin. And then afterwards, he drops Corbin and wears his crown. Is that supposed to make people go, even though he lost, Shinsuke's badass? No, it makes him look like a sore loser. He stole a crown. Okay. So he's the new king? Is it the king of strong style, King Shinsuke? Is it King Corbin? Are we gonna do King of the Ring again? Huh? Do we settle it at another King of the Ring where the crown and the title is on the line? Wouldn't put it past this fucking company. The main event is Jimmy Uso versus Cesaro. This is a good match. Roman interfering late and attacking Cesaro, which we knew was going to happen. Jimmy was pissed off and he walks away. Roman chases him down and Jimmy screams, and I quote, "It's always about you, isn't it, Us?" So Roman Reigns responds, "You think anybody cares about this exhibition match?" That's exactly what Roman said. I loved it, man. He called that just an exhibition match. And he said, you think anybody cares? This is the main event. You're not the tribal chief. I loved it, man. And Jimmy kept reiterating, it's always about you, Us. This isn't about you. So another great, they started the show, great on the mic, disputing one another, and they ended the night the same way. And while they were arguing in the rampway, Cesaro was beating the shit out of Jey Uso. So Roman finally had to come and save Jey. Jimmy tries to do the same, but he got dropped before he could even get into the ring. And then Cesaro kind of jolted Roman to where Roman had to run away. He didn't want none of Cesaro. So then Cesaro planted Jey Uso with 2 more neutralizers, and Roman just kind of viewed it like a bystander, middle of the rampway. So Jimmy was knocked out. Jey was getting his ass kicked. And, Roman Reigns was just watching it all unfold, man. Watching his cousin get his ass whooped by Cesaro. And that's what I mean about the storyline with these 3. You know, this gives Jimmy more ammo to say, dude, look he just watched you get your ass kicked again. He didn't give a fuck about you. He doesn't love you like I'm your brother. He doesn't care about you, you know, and this is going to force Jey to make a decision. Or do Jey and Roman, make a decision about Jimmy beforehand and annihilate Jimmy? Do Jimmy and Jey get together and take out Roman? Does Jimmy and Roman end up booting Jey? There's a twist. You don't know where this could go. Or does Jimmy end up falling in line? You get all these questions, and that's why it is a really great storyline. When you can have all these questions in a good way, you know, usually we're scratching our dome pieces. We're befuddled, mind-boggled by the utter stupidity of a supposed storyline in this company. This is one of those things, just like when they were doing Jey and Roman, this is one of those things you can latch onto because it's so believable, but everybody is playing their roles so perfect. And everybody is hitting just their stride, and the amplification is top-notch, and the confidence is second to none. And I love this storyline, just like I did months ago with Jey and Roman. And when they inserted Jimmy, I believe it was, what was it, Hell in a Cell? Some shit. Maybe it was Clash of Champions. But when they brought in Jimmy Uso during that I Quit match, I think it was, I've always loved these 3 together. And if you ever want to do Rock in the future, man, this is the family feud that you can keep on rocking out until The Rock comes back and says, no, you are not the tribal chief, Roman. I am the breadwinner of this family. And that could set up Rock, Roman. Just take my money at that point. That's a dream match I've been waiting for. Then again, with today's wrestling fans, they're probably going to say Rock looks too old. Rock shouldn't be in there one-on-one. We need Daniel Bryan in there. Daniel Bryan needs to be in a triple threat with Rock and Roman. So we can say, yes, yes. You know, they deprived most of us of our dream match with Edge and Roman at WrestleMania. All these fucking bitch boy Bradens and crybaby Karens, they brought Daniel Bryan into the match, and Bryan didn't even make it any fucking better. The match was still only 20 some odd minutes, and Edge still fucking got pinned, just with Daniel Bryan on top of him. Everybody that demanded Bryan be in this match was like, oh shit, we made a mistake. Sorry, Beasley. Oh, man. So hopefully that mistake doesn't get made again. If we ever get Rock and Roman, I don't care how old Rock looks. If you don't think he could go 25 minutes, I don't give a fuck. Just let Rock take on Roman, please. Thank you. So, yeah, just epic, the dialogue between Jimmy and Roman. Jey getting his ass kicked by Cesaro. Roman trying to save him, but he gets rocked, so he's got to retreat. And I liked it, man. Cesaro, 2 weeks in a row, looked total beast status. Now, here's the thing. Just like I put in that thumbnail, what happens next is huge. What happens now at Backlash? You got a guy like Roman that cannot lose that match, much less his fucking championship. He ain't gonna, and he can't, and he shouldn't. But on the flip side, Cesaro, man, you gotta book him strong as fuck when Backlash goes off the airwaves. How do you do this? WWE's track record, especially over the years, they can't do it. They're not good at this type of thing. So is all of this building Cesaro up to be this beast, this monster, just to feed him to Roman? Right? Because on one hand, you kind of have to have that happen. Roman is stacking them up. That's his new gimmick. Stacked up Daniel Bryan and Edge. And now he's going to take out this fucking badass Cesaro at the peak of his career. He's going to take him right out. Right? But what happens to Cesaro after he gets taken out, crushed, stacked up, and pinned by Roman? Can he get that type of momentum back? What happens next is huge at Backlash, man. A lot of questions. Roman has to win this thing. Cesaro has to win this thing. So when it comes down to it, who needs to win it more? Well, you can't have Roman lose that championship. You just can't. That takes precedent. Cesaro has to lose this match. How the fuck do you book him to still look strong? Are you going to do some weird shit where he loses, but then afterwards, like Shinsuke did to Corbin, he's a sore loser, so he beats up Roman? I've seen that too many times with Kevin Owens. I've seen it with Jey Uso recently, when they were beefing. We're going to get that again with Cesaro. It's got to be more than that. Something huge has to happen in the storyline with the Jimmy, Jey, and Roman tomorrow night at Backlash. Roman has to walk out with the title, and Cesaro needs to still look like a monster somehow. How do you do all three things? Do we trust WWE to do all three things in a justifiable way that pays homage to all of these characters in the right way? Pays respect to where the trajectory of their career should be headed? I don't know, man. WWE has this canning ability to destroy careers. Multiple in one night, one match, one moment. So I won't harp on it anymore. This is a huge moment for this show, for this company, for these characters. This is a huge moment. This match, what happens at the end of it between Cesaro and Roman? I'll leave it at that, man. We'll see what WWE actually produces. But that was SmackDown. Nothing was really epic on this show. I mean, let's be honest. Roman Reigns, maybe in his performance, Jimmy Uso. I mean, you know, that's a level of epic for me because we've just been deprived of that for years. That type of mic work. But nothing really, it's a go-home show, and it never screamed, you have to tune into Backlash. Never last night did I get the feeling that it's telling the audience you have to tune in because of X, Y, and Z. You need to find out what happens with X, Y, and Z. If you're a diehard fan like BC, yeah, you know, you got to tune in to see what the hell they do with Cesaro and Roman. But I don't know if the casual fan is getting that vibe. But I hope they do it justice because this storyline is kick-ass. I'm loving it, man. Probably the best it is. It's the best storyline now that they ended Bray Wyatt totally. And Alexa is kind of going off on her own with Bray's character. This is all we have now is Roman. Roman is literally, once again, has the company on his back. At least this time it's not forced. This is literally Roman's best work naturally. And you add in Jimmy and Jey, and it's just fucking good. So anyway, said I wasn't going to harp on it. I am spending a little bit too much time on it. But, you know, it's not often I get excited about something in WWE. But this does raise my curiosity. It does pique my interest a little bit. I just hope when it goes off the air tomorrow night, I'm not like, what the fuck did they just do? You know? I hope that's not what we're doing, man. Amplified, man. Put them up. You know it, man. We got to go do leg day now. Can't stand it, but it's got to be done. And hopefully you guys stay amped, and we will talk again. Next time is going to be post-Backlash. It's going to be the good, the bad, and the ugly review. The biggest, best review you're going to get in the community, man. We're going to break down every match and put it into a category, good, bad, or ugly. And we're going to determine together if it was a good or bad pay-per-view. So that's coming up after Backlash, either that night or the next morning. Stay subscribed and notified. And we're going to rock the fuck out. I would love to do that live, but I can't guarantee that. But stay subbed and notified. We're going to rock this pay-per-view out, man. No mulligans anymore. This company doesn't deserve it. We're going to rock this pay-per-view out. We're going to be as factual and as fair, but as amplified as possible, man. This company is no longer, we're giving them any rope. We're not letting them off the hook anymore, man. They better produce a damn good show. Yep, man. Much respect. Till next time, check you later.